Anthony Davis, the six-time All-Star, three-time All-NBA First Team, three-time All-Defensive Team Superstar, has been traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for a very hefty package of Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, the fourth pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, a protected first-round pick in 2021, and an unprotected first-round pick in 2024. Did the Lakers give up too much for one player? Are the Lakers the team to beat in the West? Do Anthony Davis and LeBron James' play style complement each other? These questions and more will be analyzed in this video. First, let's go over the Pelican side of the deal. The full details on what the Pelicans received are as follows. Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, the fourth pick in the 2019 draft, a top 8 protected pick in 2021, which moves to unprotected in 2022 if it does not convey, the right to swap first-round picks in 2023, and an unprotected first-round pick in 2024, which New Orleans can defer to 2025 if they choose. In early February, it was reported that the Lakers offered Lonzo, B.I., Josh Hart, along with Kyle Kuzma, Zubac, and Caldwell Pope, but the Pelicans only would have gotten 2 first-round picks. I feel like this trade was a better trade for the Pelicans. If they would have accepted the deal from February, the fourth pick would have most likely been later on in the first round, because the Lakers would have most likely improved. With all of these first-round assets, there are so many chances for high picks. Who knows how these picks will turn out if Anthony Davis decides to leave the Lakers. With a declining LeBron, this trade could look similar to the situation where the Celtics massacred the Nets by stealing all of their picks. As far as the fourth pick they received goes, the Pelicans decided to flip that pick as well as the 57th pick and Solomon Hill for the 8th, 17th, and 35th pick in the 2019 draft. With the 8th pick, they selected Jackson Hayes, a freshman center out of Texas. Jackson Hayes is going to be a project for the Pelicans. He has less competitive experience than most getting drafted this early. He didn't start on his high school team until his senior year. At Texas, Jackson averaged 10 points and 5 boards a game on 23 minutes a game. Jackson's offensive game is very raw at this point, with most of his points coming from lobs. I believe that playing with a skilled passing point guard such as Lonzo Ball will be very beneficial for Jackson, and don't be surprised if you see them develop good chemistry with lobs. His weakness on the defensive glass is very surprising when you look at his athleticism. With only averaging upwards of 3 defensive rebounds per game, Jackson will have to improve on that at the next level. Coming into the league, I see his game being similar to a Warriors or Lakers JaVale McGee, as they show similar ability to catch lobs and snag offensive rebounds. The Pelicans also selected Nickeil Alexander-Walker with the 17th pick and Marcos Luzada-Silva at 35. These are some nice young assets to fill out their bench. Even with all the young assets they received, the New Orleans Pelicans still had roughly $31 million in cap space that they used in free agency to get J.J. Redick and Derek Favors. J.J. Redick signed a contract worth $26.5 million over 2 years. This was an absolute huge acquisition for the Pelicans as they desperately needed spacing with their lack of shooting. J.J. was a very hot commodity in free agency this summer with how much shooters are valued in the league today. And the Pelicans are fortunate that they were able to get a player of that caliber. The next player they got on a sign-and trade was Derek Favors. Derek is on a 2-year, $37.6 million contract. Favors was traded from the Utah Jazz for the 2021 and 2023 second-round picks that were originally from the Warriors. Derek Favors was another huge pickup for the Pels. Favors averaged 11.8 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks a game in only 23.2 minutes per game. He was an exceptional paint defender in his time with the Jazz, and this is something that the Pelicans lacked with their roster, which means that the Pelicans' starting lineup will be projected to look like Drew Holiday at point guard, J.J. Redick at shooting guard, Brandon Ingram at small forward, Zion Williamson at power forward, and Derek Favors at center. This roster looks very good on paper, and I think they could definitely be a sleeper for the 8th seed. In order for that to happen, Lonzo and Ingram will need to take jumps in their game, and Zion will have to have a great rookie year. But with how tough the West is right now, I don't see them making the playoffs this year. But after they develop for a couple of years, this team should be very scary to watch. After this trade, the Pelicans' future is in very good shape. Lots of young assets to be led by the best young asset since LeBron, Zion Williamson. I would give the Pelicans an A+ grade on this side of the deal. There is no other team in the NBA that would have even gotten close to giving the Pelicans what the Lakers gave them. Now let's go over the Lakers side of the deal. The full details of this trade on this side are very simple. The Los Angeles Lakers receive Anthony Davis. There is no doubt that Anthony Davis is a superstar in this league. He is arguably a top 5 player in the NBA, and that would mean that the Lakers have 2 of the best 5 players in the league, with LeBron and AD. A few days after the AD trade, the Lakers also traded Mo Wagner, Isaac Bonga, and Jamario Jones to the Washington Wizards. After these trades, the rest of the Lakers roster was absolutely decimated. The Lakers roster after these trades were as follows: LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Kyle Kuzma. Did the Lakers give up too much for one player? There is no doubt that this is the most any team has ever given in any trade in the history of the NBA. I am not as high on Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram as most people are. Both players have been very injury prone, with Brandon Ingram having back-to-back seasons playing under 60 games, and Lonzo Ball not having ever played a season over 52 games. Brandon Ingram is only 22 and has shown improvement from season to season, but with the serious blood clot injury that he has, I am afraid that his potential will be severely stunted and will not be able to develop any further. Lonzo Ball has shown that he could be a very skilled athlete, defender, and passer in his time playing, but his lack to show any improvement of his jump shot really scares me, and in this day and age, a jump shot is absolutely necessary to become an elite player. I am optimistic about Lonzo Ball's fit for the Pelicans because I think that Lonzo and Zion will be able to gel with each other early on and be an exciting duo. Even with all the young assets that the Lakers shipped off, what really makes this deal insane is the amount of first-round unprotected picks that the Lakers gave as well. Lakers are going in absolute win-now mode and are giving no thoughts to the future of the organization. Once LeBron retires, who knows where the Lakers will be located in the standings, and the Pelicans will have rights to mostly all of their picks. The fact of the matter is, the Lakers had no choice but to make this deal. If they would not have gotten Anthony Davis, imagine all the backlash the organization would have gotten. There is no line the Lakers were unwilling to cross to get Anthony Davis. I think it is important to consider that the Lakers were the #1 destination for Anthony Davis, and AD only has 1 year left in his contract. We have seen situations like these play out recently for the Lakers, with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Paul George, after being swept in the first round by LeBron and the Cavaliers in the 2017 playoffs, requested a trade from the Indiana Pacers. George listed the Lakers as his #1 option to be traded to, and had 1 year left on his deal before he would become a free agent. Paul was thought to have said that he would be signing with the Lakers in the offseason no matter what team he would be traded to. The Lakers could not make a good enough deal, and the Indiana Pacers accepted a trade with the Thunder to send PG-13 to Oklahoma City. He would be teamed up with the league's MVP in Russell Westbrook and the recently traded Carmelo Anthony. PG and Westbrook started to grow a unique chemistry, with Carmelo struggling to find a role on the team, and went into the 2018 playoffs as the 4th seed, facing the young 5th seed and the rookie Donovan Mitchell-led Utah Jazz. Many thought that this would be an easy first round for the top-heavy Thunder, but the young, defensive Jazz surprised everybody by beating the Thunder in 6 games. Many thought that Game 6 would be the last time anybody would see Paul George in a Thunder jersey again. NBA fans would be surprised once again with Paul George saying that he would be re-signing with the Thunder at a party thrown by Westbrook.
First and foremost, I just want to thank y'all for welcoming me with open arms from the first day I got here. I'm showing the love. My family the love. I mean, Oklahoma, y'all truly made a big impact on me. And if y'all didn't quite get it, I'm here to stay.
This was a very big disappointment for the Lakers, especially with not being able to receive a second superstar to pair alongside LeBron. The backstory for Kawhi Leonard is more of the same. Kawhi, after being through a lot of injuries and drama with the Spurs organization, requested a trade, leaving a Los Angeles team as his #1 choice. Now, Kawhi was not specific with which Los Angeles team, the Clippers or the Lakers, but he made it very specific that he wanted to play for LA. The Lakers, once again, could not get a deal done, and Kawhi was dealt to the Toronto Raptors. This was a huge risk for the Raptors, as they traded their only star that would re-sign with the organization in DeMar DeRozan. Raptors fans were heartbroken and were very thankful for what DeMar did for the organization, but they made it known that they were going all out to win the championship. They added to this by trading for veteran big Marc Gasol, adding another asset to a deep contending team. Kawhi would go on to have a historic playoff run and win the championship against the battered down Warriors team. Now, both players who the Lakers passed on for trades decided to team up and play for the Clippers. Now, how does all of this relate to the Anthony Davis deal? How it relates is the Lakers finally pulled the trigger on a blockbuster deal in what could be the most wide open NBA season in the last decade. Now is the time more than ever that teams should be blowing up rosters going for the championship. So in my opinion, this was the right move for the Lakers. No matter how much they had to give up on an expiring contract, the fact of the matter is, LeBron isn't getting any younger. Last season, we sadly got to see a bad injury-ridden season for LeBron. This was the first serious injury LeBron has ever experienced in his career, and may have been the beginning of the end for LeBron's prime. So the time is now that the Lakers have to go all out for the championship. Only time will tell if Anthony Davis was the piece that will bring Los Angeles yet another championship. Now, let's go over the situation with the Lakers roster and what they did with the remaining cap space. Before, it was believed that Anthony Davis would not be waiving his trade bonus, but AD did end up waiving it, giving the Lakers an extra $4 million in cap space. This means that the Lakers would now have $32 million, which was enough for a max player. With the aftermath of these trades, the Lakers were left with 3 players on their roster, so they needed to get at least 7 playable players in free agency. The Lakers held off offers to all other players so they could pursue Kawhi Leonard. As we saw, Kawhi decided to sign in the same city, but to a different team, the Los Angeles Clippers. The Lakers shortly after picked up many players. The Lakers roster after free agency are as follows: LeBron James, Danny Green, Kyle Kuzma, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, Rajon Rondo, Troy Daniels, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Jared Dudley, JaVale McGee, Quinn Cook, and the GOAT, Alex Caruso. They definitely had some valuable signings with them having to wait for Kawhi to make a decision. The addition of Danny Green was in my eyes their most valuable player that they were able to bring in. With how desperately they needed shooting on this roster, Danny Green was an absolute must-sign for the Lakers. Getting DeMarcus Cousins at only $3.5 million was an absolute steal for the Lakers. Last season, we saw a shell of the former All-Star with Golden State. Playing with 4 All-Stars and coming back from a torn Achilles, Boogie did not get much opportunity for the Warriors, especially after he tore his quad and had to return prematurely in the finals. Boogie averaged 8.3 points on shooting 37% in only 18 minutes a game in the finals. His performance in the finals ultimately decided that Boogie was not going to get a big payday this offseason. With the increase in opportunity that the Lakers will give him, and the ability to come back fully healthy next season, I believe that we will see a huge jump from the way we saw Boogie play last season. Bringing back Rondo, McGee, and Caldwell-Pope was also very important for the Lakers, because at least they will have a couple of players that are used to playing with each other. Now, let's go over how the Lakers will look on the court. This is something that is very troubling to analyze, because we have never seen LeBron play with a teammate that has the same playstyle and skill set that AD has. We have seen LeBron succeed with guards who are shot creators and who can get a bucket when they are asked, such as D. Wade and Kyrie Irving. We have also seen LeBron play with big men such as Kevin Love and Chris Bosh, who were post scorers previous to playing with LeBron, who turned into corner spot-up shooters when playing with him. Now, by no means will AD become a spot-up shooter while playing with LBJ, but it does pose an interesting question of how will AD play while being next to LeBron. I believe that together they will be one of the meanest pick-and-roll duos in the league. I can see AD getting the ball a lot in the post like he did in New Orleans. We will be seeing a lot more jump shots, but nowhere near the amount of Chris Bosh and K Love. And I would like to see LeBron run plays through AD because of how skilled he is offensively. I can definitely see the Lakers' rotation looking similar to what the Warriors did with Klay Thompson last season. AD will be starting, but also playing a lot of minutes with the bench squad to try to even out their depth. This team still lacks shooting to me, but the Lakers could possibly pick up some shooters in the buyout market later this season. Where this team really lacks is on the defensive end of the court. This is one of the worst defensive rosters in the NBA. We saw last season that there was absolutely no effort on the defensive end from LeBron. Danny Green is an okay defender. He has declined since being an elite 3-and-D player with the Spurs, but he is by no means a good defender. Kyle Kuzma shows effort on the defensive end, but at this point in his game, he is not a good defender. He could maybe develop to be one, but at this point, that is not in his game. Anthony Davis is the only good defender in the starting lineup. He is an elite paint protector, and the Lakers desperately need that. AD cannot do it by himself though, so he will need teammates to step up. And to finish off the starting lineup, they have DeMarcus Cousins, who looked to be one of the absolute worst defenders in the league last year. He is slow coming off of his respective injuries, so he cannot guard anybody faster than him. If a guard gets switched onto him with a pick, they will blow by him and easily score. He is also by no means a paint protector, so AD will definitely have his hands full this season. Off the bench, the Lakers have a couple of formidable defenders, with Rondo, Caldwell Pope, and McGee, but I think that this roster still looks really badly defensively. Right now they have nobody who can hold an elite guard like Curry, Kyrie, Lillard, etc. Come playoffs, they will most likely need to start Rondo and McGee, just to have paint protection and to try to have someone who can stop the elite point guards. But this roster really scares me defensively once the playoffs start. It will take time to gain chemistry before this team starts to really succeed, but I could definitely see this team being amongst the top 4 seeds in the West for the 2020 season. My grade for the Lakers side of this deal is currently unknown. I say unknown because the grade of this deal really depends on if the Lakers can win a championship or not. If they are able to, then this trade was for sure an A for both sides. Now, if the Lakers do not win a championship with this duo, then the grade is severely flipped after they decimated their future for this trade. As of now, I do not have the Lakers as the #1 team in the NBA. I believe that the Clippers are the best team in the NBA, but we will see as the season progresses. One thing is for sure though, this trade has drastically changed the NBA forever.